What's the optimism level and in terms of the reality of the optimism?
Well, the optimism, if you're talking about outside the organization and the fan base, you probably go as high as you can possibly go, then go another mile or two above it. I mean, it's just Kenny Pickett mania here in Pittsburgh, fan-wise, after this preseason he's put on it. It's been a flawless preseason, not only in numbers, just how he's been able to get better each and every week, and he looks like a totally different guy from last year. As for the Steelers, they have to be a little bit surprised, too, of the quickness of his development. I mean, we saw inkling of it. We saw a little pieces of it late last year against the Raiders and the Ravens when he was able to lead last-minute drives. I mean, it gave you a little peek into what he was able to do. The Steelers really didn't ask him to do a lot last year, so this year's has been a little bit different so far. They wanted to see how he's been able to handle everything on the offseason of getting better. And he's just been spectacular. It's with everything, Rich. I mean, it's with the throws. It's with the decisions. It's with the locker room stuff. It's just he looks like an absolute beast of a quarterback right now that can lead this team to the playoffs. And a lot of people might not notice that from the outside, but if you're around the organization, you saw this coming gradually of him just looking better and better. And, I think the sky's the limit for him right now. He's just been unbelievable.
Yeah, 5 drives in the preseason, 5 touchdowns, 3 targets for George Pickens, all first downs, and a touchdown as well. Pickens, we had on the show last week. It was a fun conversation with him,
Yes.
And he does look the part for sure. Mark, what about what you've seen in practice, in the locker room, and things of that nature?
That's two straight years for George Pickens. As when we're talking about training camp, you
Right.
get the ball anywhere near him, he's making the catch. There is not a ball that you get thrown to him and say, he's not going to be able to make that catch. He somehow makes it. And at first you thought maybe it's a little bit of a fluke. He's a guy that you don't know much about now. But it's just he's been getting better and better. What's really people like about him now with the Steelers is that he's been able to expand his route tree. He's just not a go-deep guy, even though you saw that yesterday with the catch he had in Atlanta. He's a guy that's able to go across the middle now. He's a guy that's able to, catch and run. And that's what they were really looking out for him to do this year. If you look last year, he kind of petered off late in the season last year. Didn't get a ton of reps, didn't get a lot of catches because he was, for lack of better terms, he was just a one-trick pony type of guy. He has changed his game into a guy that can do a little bit of everything. And like I said, if the ball's anywhere near him, he's going to catch it. He got absolute fabulous hands. We see OBJ making those catches, what was that, 8, 9, 10 years ago? He can make every catch that a small, speedy receiver makes, and he's, 6'3", 210, something like that. He's just a freak of nature.
Yeah, and you got Deontay Johnson. We all know about him. And Allen Robinson is on this team. Everyone seems to kind of forget Allen, period, and the fact that he's now on the Steelers. What's the expectation level for him?
Yeah, that was kind of a sneaky one by Omar Khan, the GM. He snuck in, able to acquire him from the Rams for basically nothing. The Rams just were trying to get rid of him. Steelers were looking for a slot receiver. Robinson played a little bit of mostly outside where he was successful in, I believe, Jacksonville, Chicago, and even last year with the Rams, they moving him inside. They just wanted to have a veteran presence, and he's a guy, I think he just turned 29. They haven't really overused him much in camp or preseason, trying to get him back fully healthy from the foot injury, but he's going to be significant as well because, like I said, they needed a slot guy. They wanted a guy who could be a veteran in that spot to be able to pick up third downs, be a red zone type of guy. Even though you haven't heard a ton from him so far, I think they're expecting big things for him. And you look across the board, Rich, that's just the receivers you're talking about right there. You throw Freiermuth in there, you throw Najee Harris in there, you throw Jalen Warren in there. Darnell Washington, Kenny Pickett. All of a sudden, you got a ton of weapons for Kenny Pickett to throw to or hand off to, and it's a really exciting time in Pittsburgh after a couple down years. They really think that it's not going to be, the 16, 17 points a game, that they can put up 23, 24, 25 points a game and play right there with teams like the best in the AFC, the Bills, the Chiefs, and teams like that.
Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.